Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, because it is the welcome afternoon after all. I've talked without the microphone before. Now I'm going to start talking with the microphone because we have a lot of people tuning in online. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Boris, and I work for the Student Recruitment Office here at CEU. And we are the people who forced you to fill in your applications on time, send reminders and all of these things, because we really want to make sure that you come here if you're good candidates for CEU. Thanks for coming again, and also thanks to everyone watching online. We're expecting hundreds of people from around the world. And those of you who actually came here, I just have a quick question. Who thinks they came from the furthest? Who's from far away? Anyone? Yes. Where are you from? The US. Can anyone beat that? Yeah? India. Good job. Okay, so... Okay. So good job. Thanks for coming from all over. I know that a lot of people are from Hungary, the region, but also some people really did fly over from a lot of different countries and even continents. Thanks for coming again. And for the very beginning, before we start with the Q&A panel, the major part of this event, I would like to introduce you to President and Rector of CEU, Michael Ignatieff, who is here with us to actually welcome you for the starters. I think he's coming up.
Good afternoon. I feel very overdressed looking at you, so I'm going to take off my jacket. It's very good to, I see some familiar faces. There's another one there. Yeah, exactly. Great. I want to welcome the familiar faces. We have a absolutely wonderful student body who's already here. And we want to persuade and attract those of you who are thinking of us to join us. Why would you join us? Why would you join Central European University? Because we're so good. It's important to put the emphasis on that point right out of the gate. All of you have choices. All of you are some of the brightest and most able people from your countries. You're lucky people. You've done well already. You're ambitious. You want to make something special of your life. And for that very reason, you have choices. So why would you choose CEU? And you come from more than 20 countries, is what I understand. And that's already one thing about this place that is distinctive. Recent rankings indicate that we are the second most global university in the world, by which I mean we have more students from more different countries than any other school in the world, okay? The globalization of higher education is one of the great things that's happened, and your generation is a beneficiary of that. I'm a very old gentleman, but when I was your age, my classroom looked completely different. There were many fewer women, and because I was from Canada, I went to undergraduate in Canada, it was, no disrespect, a very white room. I grew up in a classroom where everybody looked kind of like me, only handsomer and smarter, right? In the 21st century, we're in a completely new world. And CEU, Central European University, is now benefiting hugely from that diversity. And diversity is not just blah, blah, blah. Diversity means you go into a classroom here, and there's no we in the room. You can't sit down and say, well, we think, right? You got to negotiate that because the person sitting next to you is from Kazakhstan, doesn't know what the heck you're talking about. And the person from Kazakhstan is sitting next to somebody from Malaya. They don't think the same way. And then there's some poor Canadian guy who's just can't figure out what's going on, okay? So there's no we in the classroom, in our classrooms. And it's one of the exciting things about teaching here, that the job of a teacher is to create that we, to create that sense of, okay, We're very different pasts, very different origins. How do we negotiate and work out a common approach to a set of problems? How do we confront our differences honestly? This is not a therapy session. School is about knowledge. How do we create a we in which we commit ourselves to the business of acquiring what's called knowledge? And knowledge is not opinion, knowledge is not a rumor, knowledge is just something I heard on Twitter, knowledge is not something I picked up on a Facebook, knowledge is not, an interesting picture, so the picture must be true because it's a photograph. Knowledge is something much more arduous and difficult. Some of the professors in the room, let's say here, teaches in gender studies. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. A discipline has a couple of meanings. It means she's learned a body of knowledge that fits and illuminates the study of gender. It's a discipline in the other sense that it's hard to learn. You got to be disciplined in order to learn the discipline. So this is a serious place where you encounter diversity and think about what it is to live in a world where people don't necessarily agree with you, have different religions, national origins, national stories, different orientations of a whole range of issues. And secondly, you're in an environment where you're trying to learn the most important thing that any of you will learn in your lives, which is there is such a thing as knowledge. There is ground under our feet here. We're not in a kind of relativist fog where, he says this and she says that, and who the hell knows what's right and what's wrong. We really are here to give you a sense that knowledge is hard, finding your way is hard, but we can help you get there so that you have granite under your feet in the sense of knowledge of a discipline, mastery of a discipline, some real skills that will help you to get jobs. But we're not a trade school. We're not here to just give you marketable skills. We're trying to do something much harder, which is this idea of knowledge, this idea that there are things that you can learn that allow you for the rest of your life to have a method that allows you in the darkness and the confusion and the conflict that you may return to your home societies, have some basis of finding out what you think is true about a situation and be able to orient yourself both as a citizen but also as a human being. And that's what a university is for. That's what we're trying to do. And if you remember this talk at all, and you probably won't, but if you remember it, you'll come into our classrooms in September and you might be disappointed. You might think, well, he told us that it was all about knowledge and I'm at sea. Well, what I'm saying this for is to make you very demanding. If you go into our classrooms, be demanding. Say, on the box, it says I'm supposed to learn something here. I'm supposed to master a discipline. I'm supposed to know about knowledge. Well, where the hell is it? All right? That's another thing about this place that I want you to think about as you think about coming here. We have a very small teacher-student ratio. This is a small place. There are 1,700, 1,800 students. We got a couple hundred faculty. You do the math, it's kind of 10 to 1, 12 to 1, 15 to 1. It's very close. Our faculty are under an obligation to interact with you. They're not phoning it in. They're not away. They're here. One of the things we're proudest of is we have very committed teachers. She's a committed teacher. She puts in the hours. And so one of the things that you can think about is this is a place in which you can be a demanding student. And we will be demanding of you in the sense that we have an idea that there's a thing called knowledge which will help you to be a better human being and a better citizen of the countries you go home to. And we want you to go home. I mean, we want you to stay here. We like you, but my point here is a serious one. You're going to choose your own path. But this Central European University is not in the business of producing rootless cosmopolitans. That is, people are at home everywhere, but therefore at home nowhere. I think one of the things that we have to get right in our teaching is that we respect the cultures and languages and countries that you come from. Some of them are very tough countries, difficult countries. But you have allegiance to them. It's where you were born. It's where you grew up. It's where your languages come from. It's where your affections and deepest roots come from. And we want you not to weaken your connection to those places, but deepen it. And if possible, go back and serve your countries. Whether it's in the private sector, whether it's in the public sector, whether it's in a humble vocation, or whether it's running for the highest offices in the country. And we've got CEU graduates, we've got 14,000 of them, who occupy very important positions around the world. But the purpose of this education is not to deracinate you and deroot you, but to actually root you more deeply in commitment to the countries, nations, languages, traditions from which you come. And so these are some of the things that might make you think, okay, this is the place for me. Finally, you're in one of the most wonderful cities in Europe. I mean, this is a really wonderful city for people your generation, and even for old guys like me, it's pretty good. The baths on a Saturday morning in Budapest, sitting in hot water, soaking, forgetting your troubles. One thing, music at night, the club life here, the rubble, I'm all that stuff. I'm too old to do this with any conviction, but I'm told it's wonderful, okay? So there you go. But that's important. You're here to have an experience as well as an education, and we love Budapest, and Budapest has been very good to us. Now, you will have heard we have a little local difficulty with the government. Tiny little problem, you know. It's a serious issue, and it's a serious issue for you as you consider coming here. But I can look you in the eye, each of you in the eye, and tell you, we are open for business. We will not close. You can accept an offer with us with full confidence that you will complete your degree, okay? There is no existential threat to this university whatever, because we're a private, well-endowed institution with the resources to prevail in all circumstances, right? Okay? It's very important that you understand that. You heard it from me, you can take it to the bank, right? We have a difficulty with the government. I'm confident that we can work out a solution. It's finally poised at the moment. As you know, we've had a tremendous outpouring of support. Some of you are wearing the I Stand with CEU buttons. We've had an outpouring, a global outpouring of support for this university. That's another thing that you should put into your hopper as you think about coming. Why is it that a university that's 25 years old, that is proud of its academic reputation, has had 660 letters of support from universities and professional academic associations around the world? Why is it that we've had letters of support from 24 Nobel laureates? Ask yourself the question, because I asked myself that question. I was astonished by this, because we didn't write them and say, would you please support us? It just flowed in. Well, one thing that should tell you as prospective students is that we have a lot of friends, because over 25 years, we've created a kind of capillary system of friendship and allegiance and support. Our professors write with other professors, do research with other professors. Our network of alumni go out into the world. Don't think of this as just a place in Budapest. Think of it as a network that is literally around the world. And you, if you accept to come here, will be part of a global network of alumni, of professors, of people who've passed through these doors and have allegiance, and have the kind of fierce allegiance that means when, excuse my language, the shit hits the fan, we can count on support. We can count on people who stand up for us. As the president of this institution, it's been a transformative experience to feel that support. But it's relevant to you because it tells you you're not coming to a little island in Budapest, you're coming to a network that is genuinely global, that has implications for how we can place you once you graduate. It has implications for the visibility of your degree. This university, through no fault of its own, is now one of the better known institutions around the world simply because we've been hit over the head with a mallet and have fought back, right? So all of these are considerations that I hope you will bear in mind when you think about coming to this university. I've gone on a little longer than I thought. The people to trust are other students already some of the folks who are already here can give you the straight stuff. They will say, well, he kind of shaded it a bit there, or he exaggerated a bit there, or you got to tell it like it is, okay? All right, there we go. So talk to fellow students, talk to professors, go up, be demanding of them, get the answers that you need to the questions that you have in your mind. Let me just say, we would love to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I may see some of you later.
Thank you.
I gotta grab my coat.
We're expecting rain, so you don't want to leave that here. Okay. That was a really nice welcome from the president, I'm sure. And I also forgot one thing, which is to welcome you to our new campus. This is actually a part of our campus that was just opened last summer, and this is the first welcome afternoon we're having here. So you're kind of privileged and a part of history. Before we continue, I want to introduce my colleague, Edith, from the Student Recruitment Office, and she'll be helping me with running the student panel that we're about to start in a minute. Now, before we start, I would actually like to ask the panelists to come and join us here on stage so that everyone can see you and enjoy this nice little chat. Okay? Well, once again, thanks for coming. I just want to emphasize to everyone that these are our current students from each and every department or school here at CEU. And actually, legal studies is represented by an alumna who is here for the alumni weekend, which is happening right now and tomorrow especially. So thanks all for being here. And for the very beginning, I would just like to ask you all to introduce yourselves very quickly, say which department or country you're from, and I think that's about it for the beginning. Then we're going to also see who else is in the audience today.
Okay, I'm from medieval studies, so technique is not for me. My name is Ines. I'm from Croatia. I'm a first-year PhD student.
Hi, as Boris already mentioned, I'm probably the only alumni here, so I'm not very old. I mean, I just graduated last year from legal studies, so I did my international business law, and I'm from India.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm a second-year MA student in the history department.
Hi, I'm Gabi from Hungary, and I'm a second-year nationalism studies student as well as a Jewish studies student.
Hello, I'm Eva. I'm from Hungary, and I study at the Department of Sociology and Social Anthropology one-year program.
My name is Denis. I'm from the same department, Sociology and Social Anthropology. I'm at the second year of the two-year program now, and I come from Ukraine.
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm from the US, and I'm in the Gender Studies program.
Hi everyone, my name is Yıldız. I'm from Kazakhstan and I'm studying international relations, 1 year.
Hi everyone, my name is Kinga. I come from Romania and I'm a first year mathematics PhD student, but I also did my master here at the mathematics department.
Hi everyone, I'm Jelena. I'm from one-year program in environmental science and policy, and I'm from Bosnia.
Hi everyone, I'm Samira from Bangladesh. I'm doing my master's in one-year public policy in the School of Public Policy of CEU.
Hello, I'm Otávio. I'm from Brazil. I'm the second year of the PhD of Cognitive Science.
Hi, my name is Judith. I'm from Hungary and I'm a finance student.
Hey, my name is David. I'm from Romania and I'm a second year PhD student at the Center of Network Science.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So, as Boris said, my name is Edith, and we are colleagues at the recruitment office. By the way, I also studied sociology at CEU. And now I would like to ask our other representatives from the academic departments to introduce themselves. So maybe we can start here.
Hi, my name is Marcel Sebők. I'm teaching at the Department of Medieval Studies. I'm here from the beginning, so I can confirm what the rector said. It's a good place.
Hello everyone, my name is Csaba Mező and I work at the admissions office. And I don't think I have to add anything to that. Everybody knows the admissions office.
Hello everyone, I'm Nora Kovacs from the Legal Studies Department.
Hello, my name is Carl Hall. I'm originally from the United States, and I've been teaching in the history department for about 14 years now.
Hello everyone, my name is Ignatieff, and I shouldn't be wearing this t-shirt because I'm not a student. I'm a staff member, but also an alumni from the business school. So currently I work as manager for admissions and student recruitment in the business school.
Hi, I'm Peter Szilágyi. I'm Associate Professor of Finance and Director of the MSc in Finance at the Business School and the upcoming Department of Economics and Business.
Hello, I'm Anna Maria, and I'm the coordinator at the Sociology and Social Anthropology Department.
Hi, my name is Zoltán Dobák. I'm the Student Recruitment and Admissions Coordinator at the School of Public Policy.
Hello, my name is Edward Brannigan. I'm the Administrative Associate Dean at the School of Public Policy. Look forward to your questions.
I'm Eva Laferton from the Political Science Department. I'm the Program Coordinator there.
Hi, I'm Peter Vishnowitz. I'm a coordinator at the Doctoral School of Political Science, Public Policy and International Relations.
Hi. Taken by surprise. I'm Alex Astor from International Relations Department.
Hello, I am Peter Kish from National Studies Program.
Hi, I'm Elisa Helms. I'm originally from the US and I've been here for about 13 years, a little bit shorter than Carl. I'm the head of the Gender Studies Department.
And we have a lady over there, if you could give the microphone, not you, Detti, but to the lady next to Audrey.
Hi, I'm Györgyi Purucki, and I'm a program coordinator at the Environmental Sciences and Policy Department.
Okay, so thank you all. So we have the current students and we have the departmental representatives. So the program will be, in the next hour, we will have questions that we will pose to the students, the current students, about academic life at CEU, workload, etc. I know it's very easy, you don't have to study much. Then the next set of questions will be about student life at CEU, activities, what you can get engaged in. And the third section will be about Budapest and why you love being here. And I would like to here also encourage the departmental representatives, if they feel like answering a question, let us know. And after these three set of questions, we will also have a Q&A, so you can ask anyone from the departments, among the students. So I hope you will get a lot of good information.
Thank you. So the first question that I'd like to ask from everyone, and you can just choose who wants to talk, is how has your CEU experience been so far? It's a very general thing, but let's start with that as an easy introduction. Okay? Who would like to go first?
Don't be shy. You are not shy, we know that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hand it.
So I guess there are a few Hungarians here. And me as a Hungarian, you know, coming to see you, obviously it was one of the, you know, best options to have. And when I was admitted, I came to this welcome afternoon and it really gave me more power, you know, and more, it was really encouraging. And especially seeing those students who were sitting here and hearing their experiences. So CEU really opens up the world for you. As you can see, we are almost every one of us is from a different country, and this is not a setup. It's really like this. So in your classroom, it happens, and at the first day, you just cannot believe it. That it's really incredible, and you learn a lot just by knowing your fellow students, and not only by studying here, which is at the first week a little bit scary because you have to do a lot of things, but you eventually manage, and you will be sitting here and talking to the newcomers. So yeah, welcome.
Okay, so I'm also from Hungary, but the previous place where I studied at really encouraged discussion and active student participation. So this part of the CEU experience was not so unfamiliar to me. But on the other hand, I think I would like to add something to our first week experience. And I think it was general in my group that we were from so many different countries, from so much cultural differences and experiences, that it really took a lot of energy for us to kind of understand all the people, or trying to understand all the people who are with you, that in the first week we couldn't imagine how we would study together, because we almost had no classes. Like, we had one academic writing class each day in the week, and besides that we were free to go to walk at the Danube, to have a coffee together, and we had a lot of discussions, and it was like so it was really a mind-blowing experience, and it needed a lot of energy and a lot of effort. But you know, as the time passed by, it somehow became natural, and it really became kind of home experience, that you come already home to see you. So whenever I visited my family, when I came back to Budapest, it was something like, okay, I'm back home. Or now we were at a 1-month field research trip, and the experience was again the same, like, oh, I'm back to the dorm, I can see my friends, and I'm at home. So first it's strange, but then it becomes something natural to you.
Well, if you remember, I'm from Environmental Sciences department, and for us, when it comes to CEU, it was really like many ups and downs. When it comes to a huge amount of work you have to do, but there is one really nice thing, like this university, not just our department, but the whole university, you have a safety net, which is like professors, people who are working for CEU, and your colleagues as well. When it comes to the first weeks, well, whoever is at environmental science, you're the lucky ones, because we are always going on some field trips, meaning that in the first week we already have a Balaton retreat, which is team building and networking retreat, where you actually, you're actually introduced with everything that will happen for you in next semesters, and you have a chance to really meet your like students, and you have a chance to really learn more before you come to the classroom. So if you ask me about CEU experience for myself, well, I'm not the youngest one here, so I already came with some experience in work and in school and everything, and still it has changed me a lot. And it will challenge you every day, just because you're from different countries, different opinion, different knowledge, everything is different for the person sitting next to you, and then it widens your perspectives, and it will, every question you have will have an answer, and every answer you have will have a question as well. So be prepared for that.
Thanks. Would anyone else like to talk about their CEU experience?
Yeah. It's very funny for me to look back on my CEU experience right now, considering that I'm in the midst of writing a thesis. And I think that it's really important to emphasize that, I mean, I think it's been addressed already, but it's hard. It's really hard. But it's really, one thing that really impressed me from the get-go was how committed all the students are to being here and to doing the work, and also how committed they are to making sure everyone is coping and doing well, and there's a lot of support, not just from the students and the faculty as well. But the difficulty of the program becomes sort of like part of the experience very much, because thinking about everything that we've covered so far, I just feel like my brain has sort of grown like 3 times just in capacity, and also in skill and analytics, whatever, but like it's just, you're inundated with so much, and it's like, it's hugely, I just think about all the things that I've learned, and it's just hugely transformative in that way too.
How is CEU different from your home university? If it is.
Very different. So I don't know if there are any people from the former Soviet Union countries in the audience. Okay, so it is quite different experience because the whole general culture of as far as I understand, associated with American universities, the style is so much different. And again, if people are remembering their first weeks, I can remember also one piece of like a formative experience when we all came together last year in the first week of September, and people and the coordinators explained to us every detail like 3 times. Each of those details were reiterated, and they said like 10 times, if you have any question, please don't hesitate to come or to email and so on. While in my university, which in Kiev, which was considered to be like a good university, in the same situation, the department coordinator just said, well, here is the wall with the schedule, and don't even think of coming and disturbing us. If you have any questions, go to the wall and check it, and don't ask us any questions. So yes, this like welcoming atmosphere, this climate where you are like being watched upon in a good sense, in a good way, is something which is very different from what is common in Ukraine and countries to the east of the EU, at least.
Like I've said, I come from Kazakhstan, and CEU is totally different from the university that I studied before. First of all, not because it's like difference in the educational system. Here is like American university, even though it's in Budapest, which is actually one of the factors that I wanted to apply to CEU, because it's American university in the heart of Europe, Central Europe. So yeah, but also because, as we already said, the diversity of the university, of students here, but also CEU cares a lot about you. Like, it's not only about getting your degree here. It's also they care about your I don't know, psychological health, how you feel. Like, for example, we had de-stress weeks in the right after the midterm exam week and right after the finals exam. It was amazing. Like, you read, like, everyone knows that everyone would say that it's really hard to study, and even though, like, I remember first time when we came, when we had a talk with our head of a department, he said that you might be the best from your country, from your school, but you need to know that everyone here is like in this classroom is like representative of the best from their community. So it might be like you might see it as a competition, but you should not compete with each other. You should compete with yourself, and like you see, like you look at other students and you see how like you know how much you need to improve. Like you see how many things you need to develop in yourself as well. And what I'm trying to say is that it might get tough, it might get really, really hard, but university cares a lot. Like we have, you can go to psychological help, like, because honestly, like, it's not a shame, like, to go and say, you know what, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed, I have a depression or whatever. Sometimes it might get that bad, but honestly, but yeah, there is always, be it students, colleagues, staff, faculty, whatever, they all are willing to help you. And CEU, like, we have everything, like, we have sleeping rooms, we have like spiritual rooms, I don't know, we have kitchens in the almost in the every floor, we have access to rooftop gardens, I don't know, like, we have amazing library. Basically, what is like what CEU wants from you is just like, just study, just learn, just, I don't know, just do your best, not only like academically, but also just personally, you know, as a like, there are so many social activities. I don't know, I just really, really love CEU. I think I can talk a lot. And I wish I could stay here one more year. Unfortunately, I'm in the one-year program. So I think that you're super, super lucky ones. And I wish I could be right now in your position. And yeah.
I agree with that totally, and I just wanted to add that, yeah, really CEU provides you everything in order to be able to only focus on your studying. I would like to say like personal examples. I had a serious health issue ongoing in the last semester, and it was like the student life office was making sure I have my insurance okay, and my head of the department said like, Kinga, let's figure out how can you make all your deadlines. So like everyone was like making sure that although I had a broken bone, they couldn't heal my bone, but they made sure that I can meet all the deadlines and I can go on with studying despite any issues. So that's very important. CEU doesn't let you down, just work.
Jultus was talking about sometimes being overburdened with stuff. I'm also pretty sure that they keep saying organized better. So I just want to ask regarding that, how does your year at CEU look like? How is it structured? How is the workload structured? What does a week look like? Can you tell us a bit about all of this? Because you mentioned that it is a specific American institution, so how do these things work here? You have a microphone, but you haven't said anything.
Yeah,
so
I just wanted to add something to the previous question, if I may. It's more like a pragmatic thing, but I think I can speak on the behalf of my Romanian and Hungarian colleagues that bureaucracy in our previous universities can be a real pain. And even if you want to buy a pen, you have to fill 3 forms and ask a recommendation from your supervisor. And it was an absolute delight coming to CEU and see that everything goes very smoothly. And then big props to the administration office who handle. I'm sure in Hungary it's not easy to handle all these things. And in terms of the stuff that you have to worry about is really minimized. So that this is also a big positive thing. Thank you.
Yeah, going back to your question about the workload and how intensive it is. So I'm in the one-year program, master's program in public policy. And I think like not in my one-year program of public policy, but in other one-year programs in CEU, it is the earliest that you know about the fact that your program, one-year program, will be as intensive as it will be, the better you are off with your studies and your work plan and workload. So yeah, my program is, I'll be very honest, it's really intensive, but the way it's structured and the way we get all sort of support from our coordinators and our professors, it's amazing. So the thing is that you have to know, first of all, that it will be intensive, and about the coursework and the intensity that it may have is that it will have a lot of readings, which may be very different from your previous university. So you have to know about the fact that you'll have a lot of readings to do. And once you know about the fact that you'll have a lot of readings to do, you will know how to deal with that. So having good reading skills is also a quality that you should achieve. And CEU actually promotes that, or I would say that CEU ensures that you have that quality. And sometimes if you're taking a lot of courses in one semester, then you'll have maybe like in one day, you'll have more than 100 pages to read. That's a lot, I know, but it is doable. So you have to know what you are reading thoroughly, you have to know what you are skimming or what you are learning from it. And the second thing is that you have to know that you have a very good participation grade allocated in your coursework, which may be also different from your other university that you have done in your bachelor's or undergraduate life. So these can create a lot of difference. The participation grade that you're having in your courses can create a lot of difference in your overall course grade. So from my personal experience in the first semester, I was like not participating that much, and then again I saw that even though I have very good grades in my papers, but that actually downgraded my overall grade at last because I have a very low participation grade. But speaking of participation, it's also important that you know that not only you are looking forward to have a good participation grade, but that your colleagues will be learning from you. And as my colleagues have said that it's very diverse. So it's not only what you are learning from your readings, but you'll also have your personal experiences to share. And that also counts as your participation grade. And one last thing to add is that since it will be very intensive, the workloads will be a lot. Not only your participation grade, you'll have presentations to do, which may be, again, different from what you have done previously. And you'll have to write a lot of essays. So in my department, I have to write a lot of essays, and which may be also different. And for that, we have the academic writing, and we have the professors to help you out. That's very helpful that we have that in CEU. But it's also important you divide your workload as you know about the courses. I feel like it's important that you finish all your presentations before then keeping them behind, because in the later of the courses you'll have the ACEs to coming up, and then with the presentations you'll be like, maybe you'll not get it better to do with both the presentations and the essays. Yeah, so go ahead now that you know about all of these things.
Okay, can I be honest? Don't be scared with this. Okay, when people tell you it's difficult, it's so intense, yes it is, but it's not so hard. You all came from some university. You all been doing their bunch of stuff. Okay, you had to do a presentation, I don't know, final paper, and then go to exam. Well, guess what? Here, most of the departments don't have exam. For me, that is like, yes, I can do it. I can do presentation. Workload, yeah. Some professor will ask you, you have to read 200 pages. After some times, you really realize that some professors don't even, say anything about what you had to read. For some of them, you will have to read everything. But it's up to you how much you will work. If you want to be the best ever, you will read everything. If you just want to go and, I don't know, visit all the ruined pubs in a city, it's up to you. But think how many alumni we have? 14,000. So, if 14,000 people manage to do it before you, you can all do it. And see you next year on graduation.
I'm curious, actually, if maybe the department representatives might have something inspiring to say about the workload. Anyone? No? Okay. You wanted to say something?
Yes. Actually, I finished my previous MA 10 or 11 years ago, so now I'm 34. And, but I have already done a PhD in between, so I was constantly studying, so I didn't leave this study experience, but I knew that I won't be able to study the same way as I studied before, so I took a course on alternative learning methods, which helped me to learn more about how I am studying and how I can learn effectively. So that's what I can also suggest to you, to know yourself more, know how you are studying, and know how you study effectively. And Actually, I think that in our department, I was really lucky because I can learn the most from writing papers rather than from exams, and we had no exams, basically. We had just papers. It means that we submitted them, but then often we had to rework them. So we were used to reconsidering everything that we have written. And that's also a good exercise to face criticism, to find out what you must accept from that criticism, or what are the things that you must insist on. And actually, that's why I really liked our department. And one thing which was unfamiliar for me from before was that the readings are done before the class. So while at a Hungarian university, you are usually used to, like in my university, it was not the case in some professors, but mostly the professors teach you, lecture you something in the class, and then they want you to study 2, 3, 4 books for the exam, which you have never covered. And here the experience is reverse, and it worked really good for me that first we read the compulsory readings, and then you discuss it with the professors. And for me, this was kind of much more effective learning, because then you already have an idea about the things. What you don't understand, you can ask in class. And actually, from the debate with the others in class, and also from the debates with the professors, it usually turns out what are the certain points in the text which are not comprehensible to people. And that's how I think in my case it was kind of more effective way of imprinting of the materials that we had to study. Otherwise, from my experience in the first semester, I could use a lot for the second semester. And in the first semester I studied a lot, so our workload was about just enough for a week. So if we had presentations or papers, then there was no social life, there was nothing. But already for the second semester, I could learn how to prioritize. There were also familiar things in the reading. So in some readings, I could just skim the texts and find out what the main problem was, and I could already debate about it and participate in classes. So I think that as soon as you gather a bit of experience, you can handle it, and you can manage your time as well.
Well, when it comes to environmental sciences, we have it all. You have everything that you can imagine, like tests, written exams, and everything, like readings. Of course, this is really famous word here. Readings, like you have 100 pages to read by tomorrow, etc. And I know that our department now is changing a bit the structure, but for me, it was in the first semester. We had from 9 in the morning till 5 at the noon, we had classes all day long for the whole semester. So it is really intensive. But let's be honest, it's just about you learning how to do triage and like how to just survive in this world, especially nowadays when we have a lot of information. You have to be able to find the most important ones for you. And it depends on your personal values. Are you here to reach the highest possible GPA? Are you here to crack the professor's mind and reach the highest possible mark? Or you're here actually to learn knowledge which is maybe a bit wider than a grade itself. So it all goes on you, and no worries, like you'll always have a social life, even when it's the craziest day, like deadline is now, well, deadline already passed, maybe that will also happen. Well, no worries, you'll have like -4% of the grade, but still that's not a big deal. And still, you have social life. You have your colleagues, you have professors, you have staff members. Every time there is someone there. So social life is non-stop, actually.
So I was going to ask actually about social life, because now we all know that you have to study a lot at CEU. But how about, you know, outside classes? How about fun? How about campus activities, outside activities at the residence center, friends, etc.?
Yeah, so again, as a Hungarian, it's really interesting that you are in your home country, or in my case, my home city, but you're kind of in a foreign country as well at the same time because of the student body, because of everything else. And so it somehow shifts that you will spend much more time with your colleagues than your actual friends, and your friends might be angry that you don't spend time with them, but you also, it's like it becomes your first choice because that you can share your experience with these people only, and you cannot really tell this experience to a local because they will be like, yeah, but you know, I don't know, I don't understand that how can you live in such an environment? And as you said, that it becomes your home and it will be your first choice. So when you go out for beers, the first one you ask is one of your CEU friends, and even the second one, it will be your CEU friend as well, who you ask. And so this is really like, in my case, it's 2 years living somewhere else and having a lot of new friends, and it's like they will leave and I might stay or I might leave as well, but you know, this friendship it's done. It will be there forever. So basically I know that wherever I will travel from now on, I will have a friend there, and like a real friend. You know, it's not like, yeah, we were colleagues for a year, but no, because you share all the difficulties, you share all the happiness, and you go out a lot actually. So there is time for going out, especially in the 2 years program, I think. And also the departments try to organize, you know, nice drinking events for you all, and that's also good because you can drink with your professors as well, and that's never bad.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of add on to that, there are two things that really sort of make going out regularly with people from CEU kind of inevitable. First off, the fact that we have such a small student base. Like Gabi was saying, everyone knows everyone in the same departments, you know? It's almost unavoidable that you end up bumping into people when you go out. It's just going to happen. As far as, I don't know, people from Western Europe, from North America, it's cheap here for beer. It really is. So, like, keep that in mind when you're spending less than $1 on a pint, that this can get out of hand pretty quick. As far as going out with professors and things like this goes, this certainly happens. It's, again, I guess symptomatic of how small of a base that we have here. From personal experience, I had a party last Monday and one of our lecturers came and he didn't leave until he finished the bottle of vodka. So that happens as well. Make the most of it. That's all I'd say.
It's a lot of fun then, so that we can conclude that. Cool. Now, have any of you participated in any of the extracurricular activities? I know that there's a lot organized. There's about 500 events at CEU a year, either for students or public lectures, events. And what's your favorite? Is there something that you would recommend that people don't miss when they come here? You're thinking about it as if there was nothing in the last year.
There is the ball tomorrow. I don't know, you know, we have the spring ball every year. It's on a boat, and we have a cruise on the Danube. And I was there last year, and I almost didn't buy my ticket, but then I was like, no, I cannot miss it. So it's tomorrow. That's one.
Well, definitely for us, environmental sciences, we are all about environment. So in the new building rooftop garden we have, and we usually go there and plant, like we have plants and everything, we take care of them, and like that's also our social like network where it happens. But also we go for farms, local farms around Budapest, and we work there or look for a market and just go and investigate all of these things that we are interested in. And yeah, so many things are happening. Now, if you ask, Boris now asked about, like, why are we thinking so much? Because there are many things happening here.
I would also suggest not to miss the Intercultural Festival, which is organized in the dorm every year. And you can see cultural performances by the students, so by the whole student body, from all different countries and places around the world, from different peoples, and it's a great experience. Plus, people organize some cooking teams, so you can taste also their food. And actually somehow my classmates convinced me this year that I also performed some Hungarian folk dance. So unfortunately, because of that, I missed the food part. But otherwise, it was a great experience with a very, very enthusiastic audience. And I would also say that, for example, I wouldn't have missed Yelena's yoga classes in the dorm. So actually sometimes, or not sometimes, so in any case, you have the possibility to organize something for your fellow students if you have some capability, or if you are trained in arts or crafts or whatever. So you can have some workshops together, and I really like to go to these places and occasions.
No, I actually also wanted to say about, like, one of my favorites was the Intercultural Festival. It was amazing how you can sort of, you know, like travel around the world just being in one room, like tasting different meals. But actually, I tasted, like I ate the post-Soviet one because I missed it so much. But anyway, actually, I'm very, very looking forward to CEU Picnic, which is going to be next Saturday. So it's like also a very huge event. And yeah, we also have, like, as we said, like free yoga classes. Like there are some yoga classes in the rooftop garden when it's like really nice and warm. It's amazing. And we also have like dancing classes. We have a lot of things, like, and it's really, it's just about like balancing school with social activities. And to be honest, my very, very close friends, they are not even like from CEU. I don't know, I'm actually very surprised myself. How could I get so close with people not being like, not studying at CEU? So it's not just about like you're not locked here. You can explore Budapest life. So it's not just studies. Yeah.
Sorry. I think in addition to the official CEU events, it's also what surprised me coming here was I assumed, you know, at the beginning of the year, everyone hangs out together and then you sort of break off and make your friends. And of course that happens to some extent, but in my department, we have, you know, our own Facebook group, and people are posting and organizing activities like going ice skating or having a picnic or all these things that could very easily be branded like CEU student activities, but are just like organically organized by students themselves. And so you sort of maintain the sort of solidarity both in work and in life throughout the year. That's really great.
This is something that, like, I wanted to highlight as well. Like, CEU has a lot of things happening when it comes to the social life. Almost every day something is happening. There are some huge events like Intercultural Festival, etc. But the best part is that you can do it yourself. You have idea. You know what you want to do. You want to share something with your colleagues, or even with Budapest itself, like to make some big event. Believe me, CEU will support you. So that's maybe one of the best things I love about CEU. You have idea, you want to do it, you have a full support for it.
And don't miss the opportunities of which are available in the dorm. Even if you don't live there, you can still come and use the swimming pool, the sauna, the gym, and if you live there, yeah, like you. Most of people from my part of the world come and live there like they're like George Soros, like it's like they're capitalists in Hilton.
Yeah, and in addition to that, it's also important that you live with your colleagues very close to each other, and I think like the resident center solves that problem. So you're living with your colleagues, not only one or two persons, but then a number of persons together. And if you have like group works to do, and you will have a lot of group works to do, so you can like manage any time to go with your colleagues who is living nearby to you in the residence center. Also, CEU is very good at arranging a lot of eventful activities like the research events, different talks, about inviting different learned persons from all over the world, and also there's these book launches events which are really helpful. So CEU makes sure that you don't only gain knowledge from your own program that you're doing, but you're also having knowledge from all other different programs that CEU has.
All right, let's move on to life in Budapest because we are running a bit low on time. So what would be, because we have actually a lot of people also watching us online, what would be your tips to people moving to Budapest in September? Why do you like Budapest? What should they prepare for?
Budapest is an amazing place to live. I love it here. You are going to soon feel very guilty that you don't get to explore as much as you do as soon as things start to get busy. So I would highly recommend any free chance you get to go do something and go explore the city, because there's so much to see and so gorgeous. And also to take advantage of the different spaces that exist here, for not just for fun, but also for working in the different cafes. I have a sort of running list of different cafes for different kinds of work. Quiet reading or writing intensively, different cafes. Anyway, it's a beautiful city, and I think everyone should take advantage and also realize that they're not going to be able to see everything that they want to see, but there's a lot to do.
I think maybe one good advice is to try to, ask your local colleagues, so the Hungarians, because especially if you don't want to live in the dorm, then they can help you maybe find an apartment. But that also there is a CEU staff for that. I don't know which tip. Are you helping the recruits?
The apartment.
Student life office.
Yeah, student life office. It helps you finding an apartment, but you can really rely on your local friends, of course, in terms of where to go, what to see as well, where to eat, which is cheap, which is not. So I think it's a good one.
Honestly, I'm also local, but I hated Budapest because I live near Lake Balaton, so the natural environment is also cool, and there are quite a lot of cultural programs there. But I can say that exploring Budapest with your CEU friends is fun, so I could make friends with Budapest, finally.
I really, really like Budapest. One of the reasons because it's really warm comparing to Kazakhstan. And my favorite place here is Margaret Island, where I also study there sometimes. And also there is an opportunity, CEU Residence Center, they organize several bus tours around Budapest. It's free, of course. It's for it's basically in the first week, in the first couple weeks when you come. So yeah, also take that opportunity. And Budapest is so nice. Honestly, time flew so fast. We came, it was September. For me, it was like summer, and now it's also. Everything is blossoming, so green. It's amazing city. You will love it. Just don't be stuck only in CEU. Explore city as well. And there is, even though there might be some challenges, speaking English because not everyone understands, but Budapest as well is very also international city. So I won't think that you have much problems. Yeah.
Keep in mind as well that, obviously Budapest is a fantastic place. It's a beautiful city and it's well worth the exploration. The exploration will take you a long time. But Hungary isn't just Budapest. There are so many other places that are worth visiting in this country, especially, like I say, if you're used to Western European prices, North American prices, getting the train or the bus to these places is very cheap, by our standards at least. And there are so many fantastic places that you can see. As well, with its location in Europe, we're very close to a number of other countries as well, which, you could visit Bratislava in a day, you could go to another country and come back in a day, which for someone from Britain, that's kind of a big deal to me, So by all means, check out everything Budapest has to offer, but don't stop in Budapest. Look at the whole country.
Thank you. We still have about maybe 10 minutes, so I would like to ask questions from the audience. Please go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question for anyone in the student panel or from the department, and let's start a chat. So is there something that you would like to know? This is a great opportunity for that.
I would also like to warmly encourage the academic department representatives, if they want to say something about anything regarding their department, about workload, life, any resources that you specially give to students, whatever you would like to share, now is your floor as well.
I'm sure there are questions.
Nobody has.
Anyone?
No?
Okay.
Going back to the workload, just for a second, obviously the workload is a lot, but everything has a purpose. And as many of our colleagues actually emphasized, the assessment actually has multiple components at all times. This is basically a US-style assessment, where of course you can have an exam, you can have a group project, an individual project, class participation. The critical issue being that we actually assess you on all aspects of the material in various different ways. And there has been a big trend globally towards adopting blended learning, where, as the ladies were saying, you have to do a lot of reading. But the point of the reading up front is that in many of our classes, as much as we can, we basically make sure that there's no lecturing in the class, but in fact you come in having prepared, and then the teacher tries to act as a coach rather than somebody who just stands up there and tries to lecture you. So in terms of style, we are actually quite different from other schools, and we are constantly looking for ways to improve the learning experience for students and to improve the learning efficiency. The reason why we have a different style is because we are very carefully thinking at all times about what has to be done to make sure that our students get the best, I should say, service possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Anyone else from the department? Anyone among the students? Any questions? Then I'm going to ask about the resources at CEU, because you already mentioned the library and how fantastic it is, and also counseling. But have you made use of career services? Have you made use of the writing center or the language courses?
Well, I can tell you that all of that you mentioned is amazing. It's on the
yes,
highest
so please
possible,
talk about it.
No, honestly, it's on the highest possible level that you can find in this part of Europe. And I come from Balkans, and I've been traveling through Europe, and I know how it looks like. And I was working in Europe as well, and I've never seen a people like this anywhere. So, like, on one hand, you have a library with you can reach whatever book you want, like whatever article. Then you have amazing. For example, for me, it's important to have GIS softwares and any kind of softwares you're using as well. And then on the other side, you go to career office and you sit down, and like I said, I have experience when it comes to work, and I was sitting down and I was talking with this person one-on-one, and like she just gave me a few crucial questions that helped me a lot. And like they can help you find internship in our environmental department. You even have official internships for UN, for really highly like important, let's say, people where you actually learn practically how to work with. And people in career office, as you mentioned, they are there all the time. Today I got some job offer, and I sent them the first to check it, what they think about it. So they're here all the time for you. You can just send them email and they will reply as soon as possible. When it comes to academic writing, as you mentioned, these professors there, they're amazing. Like coming from Balkans again, I had zero experience in writing critiques for anything, because in my schooling system, I'm not allowed to give a critique. I'm not allowed, who am I to give a critique to one professor or someone even higher? So for me, the first experience when giving critique on someone's book was really amazing, because the first one that I sent out was bad. And then a person, actually the professor that was sitting with me in academic writing, she was just like, Jelena, write as you would talk with me about this book. And then I wrote it and she was shocked. She was like, this is absolutely different. And then they go with you through each sentence and they explain you why, how, etc. So I think that all of these services, with all of this and amount of work and everything, there is no way that you can fail here. Absolutely no way.
So actually this is interesting because now many of you are also working on your thesis. So maybe you can touch upon that. How do you work with the Academic Writing Center throughout your studies and also towards your thesis?
I would like to answer the previous question,
Sure,
if you
no
don't
problem.
mind, because I haven't used the Academic Writing Center for my thesis yet. It's not in that condition yet, but I have visited them several times a year, and I think the hugest plus for me was sometimes, I told you that we have to rework our texts quite often, and sometimes when like some of your professors just didn't have the time or had a bad day or something like this also happens here, of course, as everywhere, because we are humans. And when he just went into the academic writing department and they said that, oh, it's okay, he just had a bad day, she just had a bad day, it's not a problem, the text is good, just you must correct these and these mistakes, and it was already okay. So you can somehow, from this network of the people whom you work with, whether it's students, for example, now we have a kind of a thesis writing workshop where we must revise each other's texts. So you work on your texts with students, with professors, with the academic writing department, and actually from the network of all these people and from all their opinions, you can sort out what's important for me. And actually the academic writing department is also good at that. And I have also tried the career center. For me, it's a bit difficult, I think, because I thought it was difficult because I tried to apply for academic jobs, but they could help me to adjust my CV especially to an academic setting. And for example, the next thing what I was asked after my discussion with my advisor at the Career Center was, what's your plan B? And we started to talk about that as well. And actually she said, wow, it's a good idea. And these are the ways how we can support you from CEU, and you can just try your luck here and try to contact people within our alumni or within our student bodies. So they offer you various options for that as well. And you can also upload your CV to their website, and they revise it and then they publish it. So you get into a database where employers can choose you on occasion.
Sorry, if you don't mind me following up on this for a second. Yes, so I think one critical thing that we haven't spoken about is your prospects after graduation, right? So, for instance, as program director, I'm very proud of the fact that last year's students, 100% had jobs before graduation. And we are trying our best to facilitate the process as much as we can. So if you could please also pitch in on whatever your experience you have had in terms of support from CEU.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a comment here, and then we can go to that.
So first comment. Now, I just wanted to give advice for people who will be on one-year program, and it will go very fast. That moment, we get to know each other, and the week presenting your outline will come very fast. So during the summer, when you will have time, start to not work on your thesis. Don't write first chapter. But when you have time, read something or make some notes, because when you come here that you can already discuss what you are planning to do. Because from the, research proposal to, I don't know, September, a lot of things will change. So that would be my advice, be prepared to start working right away. Don't think January, February, and then you have to submit it. So that is just for me.
That's a good piece of advice. Now we had a comment regarding, oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say that, yeah, it's great if you come with an idea for your thesis, something you really want to research. But a lot of great thesis ideas actually come from the interaction in the courses, especially in the fall semester. You can't wait too long. We make you, make some decisions along the way. But I think it is, I was wanting to respond earlier about this question of what you can do to prepare. In our department, in gender studies, we had discussions among the faculty of, oh, can we give you a reading list or something, right? And of course, we couldn't agree on what would be on that reading list. So we don't have a reading list like that. But I do recommend, if you want to make use of this time, you can come with a topic if you want to, but your ideas about it will change. But you can also check out the syllabi, check out the readings online. There's an amazing amount of things available on the internet right now, and I'm not telling you to go to illegal sites. I'm not telling you that. But even before you have access to the library, there are lots of things you can read, and you can get a sense of what the kind of core texts are, the core ideas, the core sort of bodies of literature that we're working with in the courses. Check out the faculty and what they've published, what they're writing, look at their bibliographies. There are things you can do to kind of get yourself attuned to what you're going to be hearing, but it's also going to kind of throw you for a loop, some people more than others, when you get into class and start thinking, oh, whoa, there's this other thing, and this is, wow. And then you'll figure out what you're really interested in and what that thesis topic is going to be. So keep yourself open for that too. It's a nice experience.
Well, then in short, I would just go back to the topic of the jobs. CEU Career Office and CEU itself organizes many events. One of them is Career Fair, and it happens a few times during the year. Here in a university, but also in residence center, something was happening as well. So you have a possibility to learn more about what's out there when you're done, and also to introduce yourselves. And you have all of these kind of sessions, training sessions, when you learn how to write good CV, how to write a good cover letter. But it's not just like superficial when you just learn the things you can find on Google itself, but it's like more personal, where you really try to make something. And here, Career Office will actually help you get in touch with the people that you're interested in. They have connections, or someone who already graduated is working there. So there is huge amount of network, like huge amount of people there. 40,000 people, 14? Yeah, it's like, imagine, that's the whole world. Everywhere in the world you can find a CEU student or someone who finished it. So no worries about that. Definitely, I'm happy to hear that 100% was, 100% of your student body was employed. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know for us in the first year, but I know that people have already job offers, so we'll see.
I want to add academic career-wise that your papers or book reviews or anything, if you want to publish it, you can ask help from your professors, and if this is good enough, then they will definitely help you to make it to a publication. So, and I think at CEU this is really a big thing. Like in a Hungarian university, where I was before, I would have never even thought about this. First, because we didn't really write papers, but second, because it's just not it's not a thing. But here it's really possible. So if you feel that this paper is good, you ask your professor, you consult your academic writing teachers, and it can be published. So it's really good.
Yeah, and also adding more about the career services thing. I think in my school, the School of Public Policy, we have a separate career service department, and which is incredible. So so in the one-year program of public policy, it's required to fulfill a mandatory practice component, which is either the policy lab or the internship. And the fact that I wasn't getting any internship and I also didn't follow up with the career services, they actually contacted me first and saying that, how far are you doing with the internship? But I also had the policy lab, but I really wanted to do the internship as well. So they were really concerned about me, saying that, come visit us, when I was like actually traveling in Europe. So I was like, yes, I'll gonna meet with you and thanks for pushing me up for this. And that really helped. After that, I was like, yes, seriously, I need to get into it more. And that's what the resource can be. They're like really caring and really helpful, which means a lot.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. If I could add two quick things. First off, on the academic writing. Okay, I'm a native speaker. I've only ever read and wrote in English for 30 years. I didn't think it would be any use to me. It definitely is. I would absolutely recommend their services. They're fantastic. And it's so helpful to have extra people to run things by and extra people to flag up things that you've not made clear, that you should make clearer. It's not just about making technical mistakes with English. It's at a much higher level than that. And the second thing, although I know that we talked about the library a little bit, one of the things that we haven't mentioned is the fact that we have a state-of-the-art film editing suite in there now, video editing suite. So I don't know if anyone's interested in making movies and making film. We offer some classes on that now. It's Jeremy Braverman, right? And there's a lot of opportunities there that go kind of outside of the traditional realms of just writing papers. We have a lot more opportunities available these days, so that's always worth a look if you're interested in that.
I just wanted to add really quick, we also have from this year on, we have an opportunity to make your own podcast, and you can make, like, they teach you everything, how to, we have an amazing studio. We, like, I took that class just for another course of mine, and 7 students, we made a series of podcasts which gonna be published like in July, I think. So we have like so many facilities, so many opportunities in the CEU. So just, yeah, grab them, take them, and yeah.
Just one more thing regarding careers. In the business school, we have a business incubator. Maybe you have heard about that already. It was opened a few years ago, but now it's available for the whole CEU community. It's called CEU Innovations Lab, and it functions like a business incubator. So if any of our students or alumni has a business idea, you can apply for a place in the incubator, and if our selection committee thinks that your idea is really promising, then you can get a place in the incubator. It's usually a 1-year contract. You get office space in this building, and you can start building your company here. You get support from our faculty, who are really experts in various topics that you might need in building your business, like marketing, finance, strategy, all kinds of topics. And of course, we also have great connections to the startup ecosystem in Budapest and in the region. So if you need any support, like investors or whatever, this is a great place to start building your business.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for participating. Let's give them a round of applause because they've been sitting up there. Okay, thanks everyone.